Curvy Mamas, what is up? My name is Savannah and welcome to my channel. That's so exciting. Welcome to my first video. Today we will be doing a makeup tutorial. I asked on my Instagram a few days ago what you guys would like to see first and overwhelmingly chose makeup. So today we are going to be doing a fall eye look. We're just going to be doing an eye focus today. We will be doing more full face and bunch of different other kind of tutorials, but today we're just going to focus on the eyes because I don't want to overwhelm you guys, and more importantly I don't want to overwhelm myself, being that this is my first video. So we're going to try to keep it short and light and just show you guys how I do one of my eye looks. So I'm really excited. Let's get into it. Okay mamas, so the first thing I do for any eye look is to prime my lid. And the way I do that is by using a paint pot, which is basically just a cream shadow. The one I like to use is from MAC. Here it is. It's called Painterly. And it's basically just a taupey, almost skin color. It's not going to put down a ton of color. But what it's going to do is obviously prime your lid, and it's going to give you something to really push the shadows into. So even if you're using something that might be real loose, the paint pot is going to be very beneficial for you. So I just put it on with my finger. I coat the whole lid, go all the way up to my brow. So you can see it's not really putting down too much color. I find that it helps the shadows become a little brighter as well. Okay, so now we're all nice and primed there. My next step is going to be my brows because, girl, they need some help, let's be honest. So my favorite product for my brows that I've been using lately is also by MAC. It's called, the shade is Fling, and it's a brow shade tint and shaper. So I really only use the shaper, which is this side. So you can see it is a really fine tip, and it's also a marker, which is nice because you can kind of get it a good range of dark to light. You can also get those really fine looking hairs, so it tends to look really realistic. The other side is like a shader, I guess. I don't really use it though. I just use it for this fine tip over here. So the way I do my brows is I start with a line below my brow, and then I do a line above my brow, and then I fill in from the tail inwards. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start with a line below my brow. Okay, so you see that there is lines below my brow here. So we're just basically going to do the same thing, but on the top of my brow. Now, when I start the line, I don't start it all the way down here. That's going to be how you get those really blocky looking brows. So you're going to want to start it kind of about right here. So go ahead and draw the line in. Somehow I injured myself here. I'm not really sure what happened, but I have a secret scratch there. So we're just gonna cover it up. Probably one of my abusive monster clawed children. Okay, so once you have them fairly even, then I next start filling in my tails. That's where it's going to be the darkest. So I always start there, and then I kind of blend it outward in towards my nose. And then once I get like real on the inner corner here, that's when I start really using those brush strokes to make kind of a real hair. Okay, so starting about here is where I'm gonna really just start doing little strokes. Okay, so a little bit more like a human and less like an alien. Making some progress here. So what I do to finish off the brows is I just take a little, if I could find it, little spoolie brush, like so. And I'm just going to, dog hair, going to blend everything, push the hairs upward and outward. Again, this brow is gonna look a little crazy because I have that scratch. And you can use a bit of brow gel. I'm currently out of it, so my little tip is hairspray. I just spray the spoolie with a little bit of hairspray. Works just about the same. I mean, they are hairs after all, right? Just kind of holds them in place a little bit. You know, like the 3 hairs that I do have on my eyebrows. So there you go. Okay, so what I do next is I like to put a little bit of concealer under my brows just to kind of extra carve them out, and also add a little bit of a highlight. So I'm going to use a really light concealer. I usually use the MAC Pro Longwear, but lately I have been using the Camo Concealer by ELF. It's awesome. Check it out. You'll find a lot of my products range from like more higher end stuff like MAC or Tarte or whatever, all the way down to like drugstore brands. I've been finding a lot of good drugstore products, and to be honest, I do pretty much all of my shopping at your average Target, Walmart, wherever, because you know, mom life. So I'm just going to take some of that concealer. I'll show you the wand here. Look, it is on an angle, and then inside that angle, you can't really see it, but there's like a little divot, and that kind of holds all your product in there. So one little dip and it pretty much covers your whole entire face. So I think it was like $6, something like that, real cheap. So I just put it on the back of my hand like this. I'm going to use it twice. So I'm going to use like half of it for the underneath of my brow / highlight, and the other half I'm going to use to do like a half cut crease. So I'm going to take a concealer brush, this, there we go, kind of like this guy. It's just going to be small, tight, and flat. See how it's flat? And I am just going to put concealer right underneath my arch. And this is a good tip for people who might have low brows or deeper set eyes. If you want your brows to appear higher up or open your eyes a little bit more, a good highlight underneath your brow is really going to help with that. So you basically just focus it there and blend it downward into that paint pot. What are we thinking? Looking good? So far, so good. I will be linking all of the products that I'm using down below so that if you do want to recreate this look or you think any of these products will work for you, you can find them there. Okay, so I think I'm ready for my shadow. What I'm going to use, and this is like the perfect fall palette. If you're looking for lots of taupes and browns, oranges, reds, you're gonna wanna get yourself the Modern Renaissance. I apologize, it is so dirty. You can tell I use it all the time. But this is one of my favorites. Look at that. Beautiful, right? And it comes with this double-sided brush, which I actually kind of love. Again, dirty, sorry. It's gonna be a fluffier side like this. This is what you're gonna wanna use for your darker shades and your blending. The fluffier brushes are gonna put down less product, so whenever you're doing a darker shade, you kind of wanna work it up instead of just placing a whole bunch of product down at once, then you're kind of stuck really, really dark and it's hard to blend out. So use your fluffier brushes for your darker shades. And then on the other side, you get this tighter, flatter brush, and that's gonna be good for your lighter shades because a tighter brush is gonna put down more pigment. So anything lighter, you're gonna wanna put down more of. So that's just my little tip. What I'm gonna start with is gonna be my transition shade. So, oh my God, that is hard to say. Transition shade. Try saying that 5 times. So I'm gonna use this orange color here, and that's gonna kind of transition my crease color, which is gonna be my darkest color, into my skin color. So I'm gonna use this burnt orange. And again, I'm using the fluffier side, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put that into my crease. And I'm doing it with my eyes open because for my specific eye, I have a little bit of a hooded eye. So I find that if I just use the color in my crease when my eyes are open, you can barely see it. And then if you bring the color above that hood slightly, that helps to open your eyes more. So that's why I do that. Depending on your eye shape, you can do it differently. But if you have eyes like me, I would recommend going a little bit above. Also, I'm really extra and dramatic, so I like my shadow high. Oftentimes, my brows and my shadow meets. So, but that's the fun thing about makeup. You can be as simple or dramatic as you want. And your girl likes drama on the face. Not in real life. Okay, so got my transition shade down. I still can't say it. Transition shade. Okay, so for my next color, I'm gonna use this red ochre, which is gonna be right here. And that is going to be my dark crease color. So again, I'm gonna go in with my fluffier brush. And I'm going to first kind of push it in the outer corner. Focus it out there first. And then I'm gonna pull it over into my crease. Okay, so you see how that orange kind of helps blend the dark color to the light color there. The key to any shadow looks is blending. Blend, blend, blend. When you think you're done blending, blend some more. Okay, so next we are going to cut our crease, but we're only gonna do it like halfway. So I still have that concealer on my hand, and I'm gonna go back to that concealer brush that I used that was flat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start from my inner corner here, and I'm gonna follow my lid to about halfway. Okay, so you should end up with something like this. And now I'm going to go back to my palette, and I'm going to use this gold color here. It's got some shimmer to it, so we can have a little pop of shimmer in our lives. I'm going to use that same flat brush, because again, lighter color, tighter brush, you know the drill. So we're just going to kind of go over that area that we just covered with concealer. Oh. 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 What is going on? Okay, so like I was saying, we're going to go over that area. You're not going to go straight to blending. You're really just going to want to more kind of push it in at first. So you'll notice me kind of like dabbing it. So, okay, focus, Savannah. You're going to go back to your transition shade. There we go. We're going to go back to that shade, that burnt orange, and we are going to kind of blend these two together. And I'm using my fluffier side again for blending. Feeling fierce. Okay, so the next step is going to be liner. My favorite way to do my liner is by using a gel liner. A lot of people like to use liquid liners to achieve that cat eye or that real smooth fluid line. I struggle with liquid liner. If you have any sort of shaky hand or any sort of child bumping your elbow while you're trying to do your liner, you know it's impossible. So the gel liner is very similar to a liquid. You can get that same sort of look, but it doesn't dry immediately when you put it on your lid. So there's lots of wiggle room, and you can really work the line until it's really nice and smooth. Also, I use it with an angled brush. So like when you put the brush down to your lash line, you're already about a quarter of the way across. So it's really doing a lot of the work for you. The one I'm using is Black Track by MAC. So you're gonna wanna get that on your brush. And the way I start, I always do some sort of wing, even if it's just a little one. I always start with the angle outward and I start with the wing. So like I pick how high up I want it to go and then I pull it down to my lid. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so once you have your line there, then I go in and just pull it across my lid. Okay, so then to do your inner corner, I start this way and then I switch the angle that way and then kind of work it that way. So again, you don't have to do like a crazy wing or anything. That's just the way I like to do it because again, me, dramatic. Okay, so obviously just repeat that same process on the other side. Okay, so looking semi-even. You could just leave it at here and go to your mascara, throw on some lashes and be done. If you have larger or rounder eyes, I like to do bottom liner. However, if you have smaller eyes, deep set eyes, excuse me, you're not gonna wanna do bottom liner because that is going to make your eyes appear smaller. But I have fairly large round eyes, so I do like to get that extra definition underneath. So I'm gonna go in with Defiantly Black Pro Longwear from MAC. I'm gonna line my waterline and then I'm gonna kind of smooth it out with some of my shadow that I used in my crease. I'm gonna go in with, this time I'm gonna take my tighter brush. I'm gonna take that red ochre that I used in my crease and I'm going to blend some of this liner on the bottom. That's gonna give it just like a more smudgy, kind of smoky look. A little more natural too. Well, I mean, this is not a natural look, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I am gonna be doing lashes today, so I'm not gonna do anything crazy with my mascara. I'm just going to use Maybelline Colossal Volume. This is a really good go-to everyday mascara. I'm pretty much always wearing lashes because I don't really have lashes, and even with mascara, they're not very extreme, and I like mine extreme. So I'm just going to give my lashes a coat. You're gonna wanna start down by your lash line, kind of wiggle it and pull it up. That's going to separate your lashes, give you as much definition as possible. How bad is my mascara face right now? Is it really bad? It's really bad, I know. I can't open my eyes without opening my mouth like an idiot. Why is that such a thing? Even when I do it to other people, I find myself like, last step to complete our eye look is going to be our lashes. And my favorite lashes of all time are going to be the Demi Wispies from Ardell. You can get these guys at like Walmart, Target, any drugstore. I mean, these are your basic lashes, and they're my favorite. I may have named my daughter after them. The Demi Wispies are going to be a little shorter on the inside and a little bit longer on the outside, so they're really good if you're doing like a little bit of a wing. And they also they cross over each other, so I feel like they tend to look natural even though they're a little bit like longer. Since they are wispy, they look like your own dramatic lashes. You're also going to want to measure these because not everybody's eye is as large as mine, so you're going to want to make sure that they're not coming out this way or out that way, and kind of trim them to size. I usually trim mine just slightly because, so I have a dramatic curve on the top of my eye, so whenever I go too far in the inner corner, it tends to like stab my lower lash. So I just cut them a little bit so they kind of stop right at this kind of crescent here on my eye. And your best glue is going to be Duo for sure. Again, you can get it pretty much anywhere. The secret to getting your lashes on is to putting a nice bit of glue on the band, and then you're going to want to wait till the glue gets tacky. A lot of people don't realize this and just immediately try to glue it to their eyelid, and that's how you glue your eyelids together. So you are going to want to wait about 30 seconds. Okay, so I have waited about 30 seconds to let this dry. What I'm going to do next is tilt my head back as far as I can tilt it and look way down. I'm not going to close my eye because, again, that's how you glue your eyelids together. So try to keep your eye open. You're going to want to look way down, and you're just going to want to place it as close to your natural lash line as possible, and then just kind of pinch it together with your natural lashes, and then I kind of push on the tips of the lashes. You can use tweezers to do this. I have more control with my fingers, so you have to find what works best for you. So see how much of a difference that makes? I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. Bam. So you can still see some of the white from the glue. The Duo glue does dry clear, so you won't be able to see it, but you are going to want to go over one more time with your liner just to cover up that band from the lash. So what I'm going to do now is finish the rest of my face, and then I'll be back to show you my full look. Alright guys, so here's my finished look. Thank you so much for getting through this first video with me. I'm hoping it wasn't too cringy. We'll see how it goes. Be nice to me, but I would love to hear your feedback. I will be posting this final look on my Instagram, so if you could head over and please give it a like and a comment, let me know what you think. I would love it. I would also love it and appreciate it greatly if you could give me a subscribe, a like, a comment, a constructive comment. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what I can improve on. I would be forever grateful. So anyways, my curvy mamas, until next time.